All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid,
Episode 8.
We had the
Okay.
beach.
And the convention. Oh my god.
Indeed.
The convention
Yes.
part was probably one of my favorite skit set pieces
Yep.
in the show
Mhm.
because it really felt like I learned something, but also
Yeah.
it was familiar. And then we also got that lovely little bit of Toru kind of realizing,
Yep.
oh, this is what's so great about humanity.
This is a place where I belong.
Yeah, I belong
Yeah.
here. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh my god, there's actually
Right.
other monster creatures and stuff like
Mhm.
there.
Yep.
They're just casually in their look here.
What are you? Oh, I'm a dragon.
They're like, why don't you show your true form? What have you? I would,
there
but
would be problems with that.
this scale. See, cosplayers accept you because you fit in the
Mhm.
2 meter and below
Right.
and above range. I kind of go into the
super gargantuan,
Yeah.
Titanic.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Doesn't
But-
work.
It was so wholesome to see Toro and Kobayashi talking about family and
Yep.
what this kind of means for Toru. So
Oh yeah.
I want to see more exploration of that
Mm.
within the context of Toru's background and backstory
yeah.
and her family and the feeling of being caught between 2 worlds at this
Sure.
point.
Yeah.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone. Now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below and then come back here for the discussion. All right, we've finally been introduced to Elma, the
Yep.
narwhal dragon. No,
Right.
the Harmony dragon.
Indeed.
And
the
I liked
final character to be introduced for the main cast. Yep.
I liked the little world building thing. There's oh yes, there are many factions within the dragons. They are not all necessarily
Armageddon dragons.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's the Harmony faction. I'm like that's not Toru. Like once they did, I'm
Definitely
like
not.
so do you go complete? Oh yep, I get they're going complete opposite. The Chaos Dragon. I'm like, well, there's Toru, and then it's and then the other faction that just kind of just watches from the sidelines, just and I'm like that's so perfect because you
Yep.
didn't just stick with the good and the evil, the harmony and the chaos. Order, what have you,
Yeah.
and then it's and then there's the other side. It's just
Yeah. The neutrals, the Hufflepuffs, the
Kana,
yeah.
just yeah, I'm just here having a good time.
Although that might just be Kana.
That might just be Kana. That's true. Also, that might actually have something to do with the eye color, and that it's actually more that Lukoa is one of the neutral ones there, but Kana is actually from the Harmony faction because of the eye color. There's a thing of Elma and Kana both having blue eyes.
I did not realize that.
There's that potential, and they did kind of frame them in a blue and red.
That is true.
There,
That is a very good point.
That's possible.
Yep.
But then actually, that's funny. Does Fafnir have red eyes?
I believe so.
I believe he does.
Yeah, 'cause he's the full vampire aesthetic.
Yeah, so that
Yep.
fits. It's red and blue on both sides there. Let me make sure Elma's eyes aren't purple though. Nope, they're very clearly blue. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. I think I might have just uncovered that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The little competition bit in the beginning
With
was
Yeah.
tons of fun. I am surprised that they didn't actually show Kana eating any of the food though. It
I
was
know, right?
strictly a competition just to showcase how it looks and
Yep.
Kobayashi's simplistic angle, which I thought was rather cool, was it's nice.
Yeah.
But I did think that the salad looked and sounded
Oh,
tasty, but
that looked awesome.
but the part that was surprising to me, I was like, wait, paprika. I get the seafood Caesar salad bit, but paprika, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of put off and intrigued by it.
Right, because I mean,
Hmm.
our family has a secret recipe for Caesar salad that is very different from the traditional Caesar salad.
And it's
so
way good.
it is super good.
It's way good.
Like lemon and garlic, and it's
None
amazing.
of that creamy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's one of those things where when they say Caesar salad, I'm like, is that actually how Caesar salad-y Caesar salad is that actually?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But overall, really cool little
Yep.
bit to showcase. Yes, this is an aspect of how close they've gotten,
Mhm.
and in some ways, because of how close they've gotten, there are certain expectations that need to be communicated, Toru. Because this
Yep.
is something that's really
Yep.
mature of the show for getting into, is the idea that they are not strictly in any kind of romantic relationship.
Right.
like Toru very much wants Kobayashi. Like,
Yeah.
eat my tail meat. Like,
right.
just
Satisfy your
stuff
lust
your
on
face
my
in.
body.
Just
Like-
stuff your face in it. Just go. Just
Yeah.
go to town.
Right.
There's so many jokes you could make there.
Oh,
But
definitely.
But
Mhm.
the idea that Kobayashi not only has not fully reciprocated those feelings, we got into actually something that I was kind of sensing a little bit here, is that Kobayashi's alone and she's kind of been okay with that, but it's not that she's always been okay with that necessarily. It's that she's kind of had to adjust to be okay with that. Yeah. And that is so common for people to have to deal with, where it's like, oh, this person has been alone for so long that someone being really close to them is actually like, that's something that they push away from.
Right.
So,
yeah, because it's
oh, dang.
How do you deal with that? It's unfamiliar territory. And like there's a part of me that also wonders if it's almost commentary on the a bit on like Japan work culture and stuff, and like how it's very hard, you know, over there for them to build those kind of romantic relationships when you don't usually see a lot of each other because you work such long hours, right?
It is really interesting though how oftentimes relationships and stuff are formed out of convenience, meaning that you see a lot of a person, it gives you a lot of opportunity to like or dislike them. Right. Meaning that if they end up being a person that gels well with you, you will gel well with them because you spend so much time together. You will in some ways take the opportunity, or they will, or both. Yeah. In this case, there's so much time that they're spending together that Toru has gotten attached to the idea of them spending lots of time together. So when Kobayashi ends up kind of having a lot of energy that's invested outside of them spending time together, this is a really complex issue. You know? Yeah, exactly. But I would say this is actually a really mature bit of subject matter, because I don't think anyone here is right or wrong, so to speak. I wouldn't even get into that.
It's just reconciling the differences and the idea that you know, it's not that Kobayashi doesn't care for Toru, but it's different for her. It's not in the same eat my tail meat, you know, kind of kind of situation, right? And but she was honest about that, right? You know, and she's like,
communicating your wants.
Well, and Toru being like, you could, you know, why don't you pat my head every once in a while or something like that? And she's like, oh, okay, there's something of how I can express my affection for Toru in a way that I'm comfortable with, that she will understand, right? So then she does it, and she's like, take the hint, you know, right? And that was so great. Like, it's something where it's not about them changing the other to be more like them, but figuring out how they can meet each other in the middle.
Relationships are in some ways built not only around communication and connection, but the third C that I think a lot of relationships have trouble with is the idea of compromise.
Oh, sure.
And that is something that I would say a lot of people who, like me, for instance, because I used to think this way, were single for quite a long amount of time, had this idea that, no, I will never compromise myself for another person. No, I am my own person, and no, that's, oh my God, how immature
I will find
is
the perfect one that is that I don't need to adjust to or anything.
I don't need to adjust to it anything, because I would want them to take me as I am, and if they don't like me as I am, then they must not deserve me. It's so individualistic and independent, and it's such a childish way of thinking.
It's a great way to stay alone.
It is a great way to stay alone, because one of the things that is really, really tough in relationships is being vulnerable. So Toru, I have to give major props for here, actually, because she was willing to be vulnerable and say, hey, I get it. This is selfish. This is who you are. I'm being selfish here, but that's the thing. Yeah. So many people will tell you that expressing your wants and needs is selfish. No, it's called being vulnerable. It is It is not selfish. If you demand your wants and needs be met by another person, then yes, you are being selfish.
There is an element of selfishness that is healthy, because it's you know, keeping like thought out for yourself and taking care of yourself, right? You know, that shouldn't be the, you know, dominant thing that subsumes all else, but or consumes all else, but you know, but that is something that you need to have, right? So
if Kobayashi isn't going to give her head pats, then she needs to understand, oh, I'm not going to get head pats from Kobayashi. what is another way then that I can get
Right.
this need or want met in a way that she would be comfortable with?
Exactly.
In this case, she is comfortable giving her head pats.
Yep.
She is not comfortable eating her tail meat, though.
Right.
The
Exactly.
difference between the two is such that Kobayashi is not necessarily compromising. She's not willing to compromise on the tail meat thing.
Right. Uh-huh.
And it's not necessarily a compromise for her to head pat. But she is letting her know, hey, this is actually the perfect kind of thing I can do here. But I can't do too much else right now because I don't understand what it means to be wanted in a relationship. Like that is such another thing I have to give shout out to, but to Kobayashi in this case, saying that. I know so many people, including myself, who have been in this place where it's really uncomfortable to be really wanted by someone, and then go, and then
it's even more uncomfortable to admit it.
You know, and I actually don't know what to do here.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I do care about you, but I don't.
And this is why Kobayashi, in my mind, is best girl.
Kobayashi is amazing.
Like Kobayashi is so wonderful. Like, and I love the way KyoAni does all of this stuff of going into these kinds of topics of even like we all know what the tail meat means, right? Yeah. You know, and Kobayashi's just like, hold on, I'm not quite there yet, but you know, so but hey, yeah, head pats, that I can do. That I can do.
Right. I loved also the angle of when you're a little bit jealous for someone's attention, which is totally fine, by the way. Like,
that's pretty normal.
That's pretty normal. Yeah. What I liked that we saw from Toru there is that she was like going all out in her desire to basically please you. Like, how can I please you? And in some ways, one of the things that is tough in and I would say an unequal relationship like Toru and Kobayashi kind of have with regards to their investment and feelings in the relationship. Toru is having to find out what are the areas in which are, you know, actually like pleasing to Kobayashi.
Sure.
So she's doing things that have good intentions, but, you know, burn her furniture, for instance.
Right.
She makes great sandwiches for her where it's like, oh, yeah, she adjusted from making the complex, you know, grandiose imperial breakfast. And it's like, no, I just want a light breakfast, please. And she's like, okay, absolutely. And then she makes the sandwiches, and it's like, I'm thinking, oh my God, yes, she's doing it. And it's like Kobayashi, you better like praise her for this. But then she looks closely and she's like, wait a minute.
Hold on. We've talked about this, Toru.
Yeah. I love the idea where she's like, wait a minute, I actually can't tell. Lift up your skirt.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
You got your hand caught in the cookie jar. Hey, doing
Yeah. I also like it in some ways because while Kobayashi isn't going to praise Toru for doing that, we look at it the other hand and go like, Toru's still trying, you know. While I would say that, you know, trying to sneak it in, so to speak, you know, don't take that out of context, is not the way to do this. Is not the way to do this.
There will come a point, Toru, where Kobayashi, assuming that the poison in the dragon meat isn't a problem, that she is okay with eating your tail, but it is not this day, and don't rush her.
Right.
In her own time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're offering some... No, I'm not gonna go. Just
but I love that that like KyoAni will actually like bring up something like that and actually have it be something where you like there's good kind of lessons to be learned and things that it's addressing in a way that is
mature.
That is adult and mature, and yet makes it totally relaxed and sort of easy to address and digest. By doing it in this KyoAni fashion.
It's really
although I know
fun and it's also really, I would say, heartwarming to see legitimate relationship kind of drama play out in a way where you have these fantastical elements like her blasting an energy blast at the girl she assumes is the competition
romance
competition for Toru with regards to Kobayashi's affection / attention, which in the attention side of things, no, she actually was. And I think that this is something that's rather kind of cool here. Kobayashi decided to for the sake of ignoring the drama, keep it a secret that she was engaging with Elma at work. Now, what's interesting about this is that that's totally her choice. She totally has the capacity to do that. However, I think the reason why she did it is one that feels like kind of a one to dispel the potential conflicts or what have you. But she might have been able to, once the smell kind of thing came up there, and she's like, a dragon. She could have just said, "Oh yeah, Elma is working with me," and then maybe Toru would have been like, "Oh no, like I'm gonna have to go invisible and play like guardian spirit or what have you, and like watch her in case she does anything weird." But yeah, that would have been maybe the worst that would have happened if you told there. So
one thing I just realized, I can't believe I was saying this entire discussion.
What?
It's not KyoAni that actually made it so that Toru was always trying to put the dragon meat, like get Kobayashi to eat the dragon meat. That's the light novel author, because this is not an original. This is not an anime original.
Oh, gotcha.
So, my bad, completely. But
all right.
But I love how that fits with KyoAni's aesthetic of sort of the cutesy, mellow everything.
Yeah. I gotta say, the fact that I didn't like clue into it immediately, but it was wonderful that they did it, was Toru basically being like, yes, we'll go into this other dimension that I created. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
go
to
fight somewhere
preserve
else.
harmony, Yeah.
And then she just closes the portal on her. Yeah. I was like, thank you. That was was perfect.
I love it.
It's the best example of where you have a joke set up and you don't know that you're getting a joke set up.
Yeah.
And the punchline hits you when you realize that you walked into a joke all of a
because
sudden, in the same way that she walked into this little trap of hers.
Because the show has already displayed for us that it can do those well-animated, crazy battles between dragons.
We saw the stuff with Kobayashi and Toru as they're preparing their food competition stuff.
So we're thinking, okay, we're going to get another one of those. Great, yeah. And it totally makes sense. You need to have it be in another dimension. Wait, hold on. She's having her going first. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Is this... Yes. Like, there's points where, like... I feel like in stories, when you manage to properly like set up something to the audience, where like they don't necessarily clue in right away, but then they start to clue in and they're like, I really hope this is going where I think it's going, like where it could go, and you're like, oh, I'm 2 steps ahead of you, don't worry, and it's just like.
Yeah, it just knocks it right out of the park.
Just knock it out of the park. It's like, oh,
that feels good.
Yeah, I love it.
I like that Lukoa was the one to make note of their relationship kind of being at that stage because they were able to be competitive with each other. And that is also a very good point. I very much have seen this because I like to play a lot of board games with a lot of people, and I have a lot of friends that play board games and stuff as well. I love to see couples that are competitive with each other because I know that they've got like way bigger problems that affect them, not these little kind of petty things. And yet I cringe internally when you have the classic bit, because I play some pretty competitive board games where you have the dynamic where you can really screw over a specific person, and couples love to do that to each other, but there's always that one partner in the couple dynamic where they just suddenly are like, no, how dare you? You're like, I'm not sleeping with you for a month now, you know? And it's just like, Jesus, it's a game. Like,
and the idea that oftentimes I feel like the main reason that is an issue is because they didn't think of it first.
Yes, exactly.
It's like
they would have totally done it.
How dare you do this instead of me?
I remember like quite vividly specific moments where I was flirting with someone and we were playing board games, and my way of flirting with them was constantly like slightly like derailing their plans in the board game.
Oh man.
And then kind of just talking smack, and they were just like, oh, and it's that bit of tension where they're like, I kind of like it, but also like, damn it, he's like,
so Dragon Ball Z abridged. You. Yes. My room 10 minutes.
My room 10 minutes. Yeah. Couples that compete with each other in the not in the like, you know, that thing, but in like a meta thing, like a third party initial thing, like a game or something.
A bit of healthy competition is awesome.
Is good.
It can be a great kind of like tension, stress reliever, especially I feel like if there are other other issues where there
Right.
might be some like
Yeah.
actual real tension kind of,
Right.
and then it's like, okay, and assuming that both parties are aware,
Right.
that that's what this is, then it's like, yeah, we're gonna kind of just sort of
Right. Yeah.
do that within the confines of this,
Just in the case that Toru and Kobayashi need to both be like in agreement and consensus with the idea of tail meat being exchanged. Kobayashi and Toru need to both be kind of aware of what's going on here within the competitive sense, so there doesn't build any kind of
like resentment, like it feels like other stuff is coming into that,
right?
But with how they did it at the beginning of it, straight up just being like a challenge, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of like, hey, you think you can do this? Oh no, you're gonna learn today.
My favorite part was when Toru came back. I think it was after the dessert bit, and she like channeled in the competitiveness and what have you, as it was like, yeah, she's hamming it up, she's playing the part. This is good. This is really good. So amazing episode, dealt with some pretty cool mature stuff, and looking forward to more. So y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there, you can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can talk with Jake about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
That's right. There may not be any dragon tail meat in there, but it's awesome. It's called Battle Lines, and it's available for purchase on Amazon. Link in the description below. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.